side not lacking support either. A reminder of the two sides. Once again, Wales without Gareth Bale, Ben Davies and David Brooks amongst others. It is Warding goal, a back three of Rodon, Mepham and Ampadu. Gunter and Williams will be the wing backs. Williams yet to play a single minute for Liverpool's first team this season. Morrell and Allen holding in midfield with Ramsey behind James and Moore. The Czech Republic side, Rakic in goal, Maciej, Kalas, Saluska and Novak the back four, Kral and Souček, both of West Ham United in midfield, Pešek, Badac and Klosek behind Schick and Dean Saunders. Wales coming into this game with the circumstances far from favourable, but if they want to get to the World Cup and end that long wait, they've got to go to Prague and get a result.
Yeah, and we have beaten this team in the past, so we've got nothing to fear. They are a good team. We've seen that in the Euros. They're a big, strong team. They've got some really top players who actually get into the box and get on the end of things. So we've got to try and stop the crosses coming in tonight. We've got three centre-backs in there, which is probably why he's played with a back three. We've got an extra body in there. And then when we win the ball, we've got to keep it, or we've got to hit our big striker, Kiefer Moore, and then play off him.
Match referee is from Germany, Dennis Ayetkin. Felix Zweier is the VAR, which is an operation for this game. And Wales performed so well in difficult circumstances in Baku when they beat the Turks by 2-0. Of course, things went less well with a passionate crowd against them in the Amsterdam Arena when they bowed out of Euro 2020 4-0 against a very good Danish side. But matters are in Welsh hands here to realistically finish second behind Belgium and secure a playoff place. Of course, they could still get a playoff place via the Nations League, but that would require some great performances away from home. If they finish second in this group, they could have a semi-final at home in Cardiff, a one-off occasion when Wales would really fancy their chances. Well, sad to say there are boos around the stadium as the Welsh team take the knee before kick-off. The Czech Republic not participating, but they will get the game underway. The Czechs in all white, Wales in all yellow. This is another huge night for Welsh football, and it's live here on TalkSport 2. Wales lacking their talisman, but they do have Aaron Ramsey back in the side as the captain, and he's involved in an aerial duel in the opening seconds, leaping with Novak and catching Novak in the face.
Yeah, we've seen a sending off last night for that.
Yellow card for Aaron Ramsey within the opening 30 seconds.
Accidental, but he has jumped like you do for a header with your arms up, and the point of his elbow has gone in Novak's eye. Luckily, there's no cut. He's up and about.
Filip Novak back playing for the Czech Republic after a year on the sidelines, and he has a welcome back there and a shiner from Aaron Ramsey. Will have to manage a yellow card for the remaining 89 minutes. It's a free kick for the Czech Republic just inside their own half on the far side there left, and it's played down the line, but Wales will quickly clear, and now they will try and break the early ball forward, looking for the pace of James though flagged offside.
Yeah, there's an example of Dan James's pace again. It was just a hooked over the top. He's clean through, but we could see he was offside. Linesman kept his flag down for a bit and then eventually put it up, but that's a good sign. That looks like maybe that's a tactic. First chance you get, can you get it over the top for Dan James?
And Dan James knew he was offside, but he hooked a shot towards goal, and now, having booked Ramsey in the first minute, Dennis Ayetkin, the referee, is giving James a lecture for kicking the ball away. 2 minutes played in Prague on TalkSport 2. World Cup qualification Group E. It is the Czech Republic 0, Wales 0. Wales have lost in all 6 previous visits to the Czech Republic and the former Czechoslovakia. But they did beat the Czechs 1-0 back in March, which was a victory earned in in adversity. Both sides finishing with 10 men. Patrick Schick was sent off. Connor Roberts later followed him down the tunnel. And although Wales were hanging on for long spells in that game, they won the match thanks to a late header from Dan James.
Well, good signs to start with, Nigel. In the dressing room before the game, you always talk about at what point are we going to engage this team when they get the ball at the back? How far are we going to let them come with the ball before we start pressing? And I wouldn't say it's a full court press from Wales, but it's the three-quarter press. I think they're going to say, go on, you can have it. So 15 yards from the halfway line, then we're going to start pressing you, which is a good sign.
The Czechs looking to build on the far side there left. It's hooked away by Mepper. Morel losing out in the air with Barac. And the Czechs neat and tidy again as Barac looks to feed the ball into the penalty area. On the left-hand side, Patrick Schick was darting in field, but Wales repel that raid, and it will be a throw into Wales on the far side, their left.
Joe Morel's so lucky there. I mean, they played some intricate football in our box, and he stuck his leg out, and luckily Schick's not gone down, but he did put his leg in there.
Mepper with the throw-in on the far side. Nearly 4 minutes played, 0-0. And this is a game that Wales simply can't afford to lose if they're to finish second in the group realistically. Of course, they travel to Estonia on Monday. We'll have that game live for you on TalkSport 2 as well. And then they finish off at home to Belarus and Belgium. The Czechs only have one game left after this, when they travel to play Estonia. They travel to Belarus before that on Monday. But of course they played one game more. Belgium not involved in this group during this particular international break due to their match in the Nations League against the French last night, when there were 2 goals up at half-time and ended up losing 3-2. The Czech Republic moving forward again on the far side. And Patrick Schick is a real live wire, and he's got support from Novak. And now Barac with a low ball towards the edge of the penalty area, and Wales briefly were under pressure as Pesek looked to burst in beyond the back four, but it was quickly covered and cleared by Rodon, and it will be a throw into the Czech Republic with 5 minutes played on the far side.
Yeah, Rodon's clipped the ball into no man's land there, short of Kiefer Moore. They come straight back at us. Nico Williams has done the same. In the first 5 minutes of these games, you've either got to clear their back four, completely clear it so they turn round, or hit the striker's chest.
Long throw in from Novak. Rising to head the ball away was Kiefer Moore. Novak again delivers the cross into the penalty area, met by Mepham at the near post, and then it's hoisted towards the halfway line by Morel. But the Czechs quickly win it back. It's wide to this near side, looking for West Ham's new signing, Alex Kral. And it's beyond him and out of play for a throw-in, or rather a goal kick to Wales, away to our right-hand side. 6 minutes played. And we're watching this game from TalkSport Towers, the game at the Eden Arena in Prague, which is far from full. They were hoping for a crowd close to its capacity of 19,000, but that's not the case. But Wales have travelled in numbers as James looks to poke it back in field to Ramsey, and the captain looks to the left-hand side to find Williams. Moore was the target in the centre, but the challenge comes in, and it's a good one on the far side from Saluska, and the Czech Republic will clear again. Souček, tall, angular presence, plays it wide to the left-hand side, and Novak. Now Barac. And as we saw in the European Championships, when the Czechs settle down, they are a formidable team. They've got the physicality, but they've also got players of a high technical ability.
Tough job for the 3 midfield players tonight. You know, Morel, Ramsey and Joe Allen, they've got to cover the full width of the pitch. Wales are allowing 2 strikers up the pitch, James and Moore, so they're short in the wide areas.
And Wales just dropping deep here as the Czechs try and build again. On this near side with Mathieu. who has replaced the injured West Ham player Vladimir Sufar, who would have been an absolute shoo-in to start this game, alongside Thomas Callas of Bristol City, as Ampadu has a throw-in for Wales on this near side. Early goals going in elsewhere in Europe. Turkey 1, Norway 0, and Gibraltar 0, Montenegro 1. Now Schick coming forward for the Czech Republic, twisting and turning towards the edge of the penalty area, and a low shot is kept out well by Danny Ward, and Wales were opened up there. Patrick Schick with the initial incursion into the penalty area, and the shot from Projek was palmed away by the Wales goalkeeper.
Well, it's just self-destruct. Ethan Ampadu's taking the throw-in. I don't know why. He shouldn't be taking the throw-in for me. Your left back should be taking the throw-in, not your left side centre-back. He's thrown it straight to them. They've nearly scored.
Now Gunter on the far side, the right. Big test for him this evening, winning his 105th cap. Now playing in League One with Charlton. Connor Roberts has played only 45 minutes for Burnley's under-23 side since injuring his groin in the round of 16 game at the Euros against the Danes in Amsterdam. So he's in the squad but not fit enough to play. But Wales work it neatly forward again. Kiefer Moore now inside the penalty area, found by Gunter, just driven wide by his first touch. Here is Williams now, back again towards Morel. Allen midway inside the Czech Republic half, finding Morel again, and he's got time to turn and play it wide to the right-hand side. For the first time in the game, Wales had possession inside Czech territory with 9 minutes played. Gunter back towards Mepham again, and now Joe Allen, who has a very important role at the base of that midfield this evening. Ampadu's got the opportunity to stride forward, and he's going all the way into the penalty area. Eventually his run is blocked off, and he looks to buy the penalty, which was never coming, and is gathered by the Czech goalkeeper Tomáš Vlašek.
Well, first of all, it's a great ball into the box as Chris Gunter's whipped across around the back of everyone. And for me, I don't know about you, Nigel, I thought, Kiefer Moore, you've got to get on the end of it. He's just a yard short from a diving header or slide in. He's ended up having to stretch, and the moment was gone. And then we've just seen Ethan Ampadu there, his midfield skills. He's playing at the back. He stepped right through their midfield, right into their box. Never a penalty, but well done.
Germany 0, Romania 1. Yanis Hadji of Rangers has scored the opening goal in that game tonight. Here is Král for the Czech Republic. 10 minutes played here on TalkSport 2. The Czech Republic 0, Wales 0. These two sides level on points. 9 adrift of Belgium in Group E. Wales were building up a pretty solid body of work before that 0-0 draw at home to Estonia, which has really checked them back. Of course, they were beaten by Belgium 3-1 in their opening game, but performed pretty well against one of the world's best sides. Then they beat the Czechs. Thanks to Gareth Bale's hat-trick, they dramatically came from behind to William Belarus before that 0-0 draw against the Estonians, which was an incredibly frustrating night.
Are there some restrictions on this game? Because I'm a bit surprised there's empty seats, Nigel. Is it restricted attendance? Because it's not a full stadium.
There is some social distancing, but even so, there are a number of empty seats in all areas of the ground, which would suggest it is some way short of capacity. I was there a couple of years ago when they beat England 2-1 and ended England's long run of unbeaten games in qualification. Even that night, it wasn't completely full.
I think this is why it's vital that we finish second in this group. You wouldn't want to play Wales in Cardiff with our fans in a one-off game.
Yeah. Anything could happen.
Yeah.
But it's a long way off at the moment. And those games will take place in March as Kiefer Moore goes down under the challenge of Král, looking for the free kick. The appeals are waved away, and very quickly Patrick Schick is off and running for the Czech Republic on the far side, the left. He's got support inside the penalty area, but the reverse ball back to him from Král is quickly cut out, and Ramsey will try and run the ball clear. And he's going to throw in for Wales, taken quickly in towards Moore back towards Ramsey, and now Moore down the left-hand side, looks to play the early ball in field. It's cleared by Souček, but it's a poor clearance, won back by a lunging Morel. And Wales here have the opportunity to attack down the right-hand side with Gunter, headed away though by Novak, quickly won back though by Allen. And the Czechs now under pressure as Novak's clearance just clips. Well, seemed to clip off Allen and go out for a Czech throw-in, but the assistant on the far side has given it to Wales.
Brilliant play from Joe Allen there. I mean, scraps when the ball's bouncing around, the slide tackles. Joe Allen is really good at reading the situation and picking up the scraps and keeping the momentum going for the team.
Well, the throwing routine between two old mates, Ramsey and Gunter, doesn't quite come off on the far side, so it will be a throw into the Czech Republic. We're watching a replay of the opportunity for Krosek, and it was a really good save from Danny Ward, and he was overemployed at times during the Euros and shouldn't have had to make that save there.
Well, do you know what? There's certain things, as a professional footballer, there's certain things every coach will tell you the same thing. In the first 5 minutes of a game, do not give the opposition chances. Ethan Ampadu has just thrown the ball square to Schick, who's they've nearly scored. Like, throw it, just get it down the line in the first couple of minutes. Don't throw it in field right to one of their players. We got away with it.
Now Souček, forced back though by the persistence of Morel. Souček in towards Thomas Kalas. Well, the Bristol City man has time to turn and play it wide towards the far side. The Wales have settled well here, apart from that one opportunity. 14 minutes played, 0-0.
Yeah, it's a decent start. You can see cracks in their defence. Here we go.
Dan James coming forward now for Wales, down the left-hand side, breaks into the penalty area. Oh, he goes for a right-footed curler, gets it all wrong, high into the crowd with options in field.
I've seen him score them goals for Man United. Exact same situation, goes down the left wing, drops his shoulder, comes inside, right foot curler, top corner. Unfortunately, he's just got that one a little bit wrong, got his bearings wrong. He started it too wide and it's just gone out for a goal kick, but we broke on them again and they look a bit shaky at the back.
Thomas Vlasic, now of Olympiakos, the former Sevilla goalkeeper, clears downfield, and it's gathered on this near side by Pešek, and he will try and take on Roden, who just forces him towards the corner flag, but it's quickly played in field, and now Pešek is in behind Roden. A clever ball from the Czechs into the area down the right hand side, but the ball beats him into touch and that will be a goal kick. But there was just that sharpness of thought, Dean, from the Czechs in those sort of areas.
Yeah, that's brilliant from both teams. I thought Roden defended the first one. He got dragged out into the left back area. He's ushered the player away from the goal brilliantly, but obviously he's left a gap inside him, and they exploited it. They played a quick pass through, and luckily his speed of thought got him back into his position.
Ward had the opportunity to try and play out, but goes longer, wide to this near side, headed in field by Nico Williams. Wales almost give up possession, then they do, as it's pumped long towards Kiefer Moore, and it's gathered by Kalas once again, and it was just unnecessary from Wales. They didn't need to try and force it in that sort of area.
No, there's been some loose balls hit 5 yards either side of Kiefer Moore, but for me as well, he's got to be on his toes. Can he, when we're defending Kiefer, you've got to be ready to make a bad ball into a good one and get there first and hold it up for us. He's just a bit short on everything that's coming to him. Looks to me, after 16 minutes, I haven't seen him play since the Euros, he looks as if he's lacking a bit of confidence.
Well, only one goal in 13 games for Cardiff so far this season. And they're a team who are hurtling down the championship table as Baklic clears downfield. And now there's an opportunity for the Czechs to try and break forward with Barac. Wide towards Schick, who comes in field towards the edge of the penalty area. And the shot is blocked in the end. And Ramsey will try and release the early ball forward. And he's found Dan James in a great opportunity. 2 against 1 here for Wales. It's through to Kiefer Moore. And the shot is blocked by Baklic. And Wales there with a glorious chance The quick thinking of Ramsey. It was a 2-on-1 situation, but Kiefer Moore unable to supply the finish.
Well, the move starts, they cut inside, have a shot, and Ramsey blocks it, he squares free. All of a sudden Wales find themselves 2v1, Dan James and Kiefer Moore against one centre-back who's in the middle of the pitch, and Dan James took it as close as he could to the centre-back, and then he slipped a perfect pass to Kiefer Moore, one-on-one, tried to slip it into the keeper's body, keeper saves it, great chance.
Wales do have a corner, deep from Moore, high to the far post, headed back in field by a Czech player, flicked on by Moore, and then was there a high boot inside the area as Wales looked to keep the move going. It was Ethan Ampadu who tried to nod it forward. Then there's a smile between himself and the referee, and the Czechs have the ball back.
Well, you don't get many chances like that against top teams. They've got to go in, and Dan James has done everything right. He could have gone on his own. He's realised it's 2v1. Once the defender sort of engages me, all I've got to do is slip it. He slipped it sideways onto Kiefer Moore's right foot, middle of the goal, picky spot, hits the keeper. I've been there though, Nigel. When you haven't scored for 13 games, everything's difficult. You can't control the ball properly.
No, when he came into the Wales team, he was possibly playing on instinct, but Wales breaking forward again now. The pace of James delivers across on the run from the right-hand side. Moore is underneath it, but he's crowded out by two Czech defenders, and it bobbles back towards Vaklic. But with 19 minutes played, Dean, one or two moments for optimism.
Oh, Dan James again, causing havoc with his pace. And Kiefer Moore, as I just said to you, I'm looking at him and I've been there, I know how he feels. He's lost all his belief. When you haven't scored for that amount of time, you actually lose the belief that the ball is going to come to you. When you're scoring every week, you believe the ball's going in every time you hit it. It's just a yard short. And he could have made more of that last attack. It's a deep cross to the far post. He didn't believe he could score.
Now James again winning a flick on from Kiefer Moore, and it's wide to Williams. On this near side, the left, checks back onto his right foot, swirls a high ball into the area, headed away by Novak, then Kral with a second header clear, and as far as Allen. Morel 20 yards out, Ramsey sweeps it wide to this near side, and Williams again on the corner of the penalty area. He's quickly harried though, and pushed back, but Wales maintain possession. Here is Ramsey now, inside the area, left-hand side, Williams in support. Ramsey has attracted Kral to this near side. He eventually makes the challenge, and Morel will allow the ball to dribble out. But 20 minutes played, and Wales on top at the moment, 0-0.
Yeah, you're right. We are right bang on top right now. When we look a good team at the moment, we've created some great opportunities. Just got to keep it going.
Morel now plays it square towards the edge of the penalty area, and it's James again who has drawn three Czech Republic players towards him. Back to Williams, a high ball swung across the field from left to right. Leaping for it was Gunter, but it's nodded away by Saluska, and it will be a throw into Wales on the far side. The Czechs have only lost 2 of their last 16 qualifying games here in Prague, and have won 6 of the previous 7 games. But Wales are just beginning to ask one or two questions. Morel infield to find Allen, and now Ramsey wide to Gunter once again. Gunter finding Ramsey, goes for the return ball around the back, appeals for handball as it's scooped in field by Ramsey, but it's quickly won back by Souček, and now it's wide to this near side again, and Matia, and Souček receives the ball on the half turn, looks to get a free kick, and eventually does get it. He was caught by Allen, who was just caught out there, and the Czechs have a free kick just inside their own half. Of course, Thomas Souček is a player also struggling for form, perhaps scored 10 goals in the Premier League last season, but he's not found the net since the opening day for West Ham in the current campaign.
Yeah, because managers are clever. They look at the video from the previous year, they look at the goals he scored, they show the midfield players this is the runs he makes, track him, so that's what happens.
Cross delivered into the penalty area for the Czechs, flicked on by Ship at the near post, and it's cleared away, but the flick on from Moore doesn't find James. It was Kral who just nods it back towards Callas, and The game momentarily has a lull at the midpoint of the first half here on TalkSport 2, and here are the thoughts of Dean Saunders.
Well, this is an example of a team that's lacking an out-and-out goal scorer. We've just got 15 minutes there against Czech Republic in their stadium. You've got to score with the chances we've had, and we haven't.
No Gareth Bale, of course, as Williams plays it down the line for James again, down the Wales left. James will look to take on his man. The early cross-in is cleared as far as Morel. And there is an opportunity for Wales to quickly transfer it wide to the right-hand side, and Rodon does that now. Gunter back in field towards Allen, and here is Morel midway inside the Czech Republic half, and Ramsey with one of those delicate balls wide towards Gunter again, back in field towards Ramsey. Now Gunter with a low cross in, which is scooped away at the near post by Callas, and the Czechs will clear. Other goals going in around Europe. Latvia 0, the Netherlands 1. Davy Klaassen with the opening goal there, and it's Cyprus 0, Croatia 1. Romania still leading Germany by a goal to 0 as well. Another long ball played forward for Wales, seeking out Dan James, but it's headed away initially by Seluska and eventually transferred back towards Thomas Vaklic, who was trying to force it himself this time with a ball wide to the far side, looking for Novak, straight out of play, and Wales have a throw-in. Now Ramsey has it.
They're there for the taking. This Czech team are not at the races. They're there for the taking. We've got to punish them right now.
James plays it back to Ramsey, who on the stretch tries to feed it back towards James on the right-hand side. Cleared away by the home side, but it's quickly returned to Ramsey. And in the end, he was caught on the corner of the penalty area. The challenge coming in from Klosek. Wales don't have the free kick, but they do have the corner.
Oh, he's got one in the ribs, I think, Aaron Ramsey. Have you had that one, Nigel? I have, recently.
I've got padding around the ribs, I'm fine.
I went go-karting. Wrong decision. Can't sleep, can't roll over in bed, can't cough, can't sneeze. Aaron Ramsey's just got one of them.
Corners work short on the far side for Wales, and they don't make the most of that, but they do have a throw-in. And it's played early towards Ramsey, who turns inside the area, puts it across the face of goal, but it's beyond Kiefer Moore and behind for a goal kick.
Switched off again. Their back four are just ragged. They're not playing at all. I mean, it's not going to be like this for the whole game. They've got too many good players on the pitch, but when you play against teams like this, real good teams, and they're not at the races, you've got to take your chances.
And now the Czech Republic do have a free kick, and there's one or two players beginning to square up to each other on this near side. It was a heavy challenge right in front of the technical areas on Mattia. And Ethan Ampadu is the player who was involved, and Donis Aitken, the referee, is just calling him across to this near side, and it's another yellow card for Wales.
I mean, you've got to be streetwise. You've got a Czech Republic team who are fast asleep right now. What they need is something like this. Start a little scuffle, squaring up. It gets the crowd going, changes the course of the game. Just leave them sleep. Don't give them a chance. Ethan Ampadu has gone into a challenge there. It's not a bad challenge. He's got his foot up high, but they end up having to square up. Just walk away.
But it's a free kick for the Czech Republic.
What's that? Yellow cards? How many is that?
Oh, it's two already in the game, yeah.
Well, we're going to have to be careful. Actually, when the national anthem was on and we were looking at the Welsh bench, three centre-halves there, uncompromising. Alan Nill, Robert Page and Kit Simons. That's the coaching team. Wales, I was thinking, they could play tonight. Headed out of the box. Don't ask them to play off from the back.
Well, Barac has also been booked for the Czech Republic for his role in the fracas afterwards, and he'll be out of their next game, which comes up away to Belarus on Monday. And now the Czechs have won a corner on this near side. The Wales just have to be careful here, because They've allowed the Czech Republic back into the game with 27 minutes played on TalkSport 2. 0-0. Wales have created the game's best chance so far.
And a number of half chances, Nigel, which you think, better pass, better cross, better finish. You could have scored a couple.
Corner's played high into the 6-yard area. Nodded away by Mepham. And the early ball forward from Williams was looking for Dan James. That clearly is the tactic, to get the ball forward as quickly as possible, but the Czechs recover. The blonde-haired Barac heads the ball in field on this near side.
I was pleased to see that. I think Dan James got man of the match for Leeds. I'm pleased to see he's doing well. Team's not started great, but it looks like he's starting to play well and show what he's capable of. I actually thought in the Euros he's improving all the time. I was a bit surprised Man United let him go.
Well, he was a player who was signed with a degree of fanfare, but possibly didn't take the most of his opportunities after a good start, and of course bigger names were signed elsewhere.
He's a young player though, Nigel. Sometimes they need to go in the team, out the team, have 3 months watching, back in the team. We'll never know. Now hopefully he goes to Leeds, can win some trophies at Leeds, or take him as far as he can and go back to where he was.
Marshall grumbles from the home supporters here. 29 minutes played, 0-0, and they came here hoping to see their side maintain some decent form overall in this group. Had a big win away to Estonia when Souček scored a hat-trick in a 6-2 win. Of course, they were beaten by the Belgians, but no real disgrace in that. They did draw here against Belgium as well. The only points that Roberto Martinez's team have dropped so far. Now Schick and Klosek looking to link up, but the ball from Klosek in field is quickly cleared. James again is chasing, and Seluska knows he has a problem every time Wales play it forward, because neither he or Callas are the most mobile, and they've got Dan James coming at them at high speed every single time.
Well, yeah, you can see the tactic there. The ball just dropped loose to Nico Williams in the left-back area. He had no thought in his mind apart from putting this over the top. Is it a 50-yard ball over the top of their back foot? Dan James is chasing it, and it looks like a good tactic at the moment. As you said, the two centre-backs don't look very mobile, and Dan James is causing them all sorts of problems.
Malta 0, Slovenia 1, Russia 1, Slovakia 0. Other goals going in, but 0-0 here on TalkSport 2. Gunter down the right, high early crossing, looking for Kiefer Moore, and he's just crowded out as he challenges two Czech Republic defenders, and even though he was outnumbered, he's the player penalised.
Well, he started to move off. He got the ball on his chest and flicked it inside on the opposite wing. The ball got switched out to Chris Gunter, who's in loads of space, opens his body out, whips a cross in, and then Kiefer Moore tries to get back into the box on the end of the cross. Again, just a yard short. Defender got there before him. But if they keep putting balls in the box like that, he will get on the end of one.
31 minutes played on TalkSport 2. The Czech Republic 0, Wales 0. Tomorrow we have League One commentary at 3 o'clock. Big game at Hillsborough, Sheffield Wednesday against Bolton over on TalkSport at 1:30. WSL action, the Manchester derby. United with 3 wins from 4 this season. City with 3 defeats in a row. That's a 1:30 kick-off on TalkSport, and at 7:45 Andorra against England will be our commentary game. But on Sunday, more WSL action at 3 o'clock on TalkSport. Arsenal against Everton, and I'll be alongside Sam Parkin on Monday night here on TalkSport 2 for Estonia against Wales. And really that's must win whatever happens here tonight. But on Tuesday, a choice of listening, England against Hungary live from Wembley on TalkSport. And here on 2, it is the Faroes against Scotland. Now James down the left-hand side, found by Moore, and the crossing is blocked by Kral, and Wales have another corner with 13 minutes to play in the first half.
Dan James is having a great game. everything we do that's good, he's involved in it. This time he's down the left channel, tried to stand across up for keeper Moore, got blocked, corner for Wales.
Corner's played short again, and the angle has opened out for the cross into the penalty area. Moore with a head up, off balance, and he was on the angle, and it drifts harmlessly wide.
Well, he can't complain about the service tonight. There are balls going into their box. I've never seen a Czech team in half an hour play as bad as this. They can't play any worse than this. They've not put 5 passes together.
But it's 0-0. Yeah, and that's the problem for Wales.
Yeah, we haven't got an out-and-out goal scorer who would have put one of them away.
Wales with 15 failed attempts to reach the World Cup since 1958, when they played the Czech Republic in qualification. A Roy Vernon goal won the game at Ninian Park before a 2-0 defeat here in Prague. And Wales ultimately qualified thanks to a playoff against Israel, when other nations had chosen not to play them. But there are a couple of routes available to Wales to reach the World Cup in Qatar next year, finishing second in this group, and they would have the possibility of being seeded, or by the Nations League, where they are in currently one of the 2 playoff spots, but they would be unseeded as the Czechs give the ball away again inside their own half. Alex Kral turning and a simple ball straight out of play.
Well, we've not seen Czech with Schufal and Kral giving the ball away every time they get it. Not had a kick. I bet the manager can't wait to get him in at half-time and change it. They're not caught with our system. Chris Gunter keeps getting out on the right-hand side. They're all over the place. But they will get to grips of it.
11 minutes to play in the first half here on TalkSport 2. 0-0 between the Czech Republic and Wales in Group E of the World Cup qualifiers. A point, really more used to Wales, but a win would be great. But here is Patrick Schick turning well, and a deflected shot loops over Danny Ward, and thankfully over the crossbar as well.
Well, there you go. These players have magic moments, and Schick's been quiet for half an hour. He's had 2 opportunities to pull the trigger. Brilliant bit of skill in the middle of the pitch. Flicks it onto his left foot, which he's lethal with. Great block. Again, the Welsh players are actually making blocks and meaning it. That's gone over the bar, deflected over the bar.
Corner kick for the Czech Republic. Headed away at the near post by Gunter. Flicked on by Ramsey. And it's Ampadu striding clear. And a quick ball is played wide to the right-hand side. The early pass in, looking for James, who tries to knock the ball beyond the goalkeeper. Ramsey now inside the box. He's done it! Aaron Ramsey score! What a crucial goal for Wales! And it's the captain who delivers. A devastating breakaway, finished by Ramsey. And on the road to Qatar, that is an absolutely key moment. The Czech Republic 0, Wales 1.
Well, there you go. How many times do you see it? A corner at the other end of the pitch. 6 seconds later, it's in your net. Ampadu breaks out. Great ball in. Gunter's whipped one in near post for Dan James. He's missed it. Ramsey's caught the game up outside the back post. I thought he's lost the opportunity to score. He's got a side footing in the empty net. He sits the goalkeeper down. All the defenders slide into the net. He comes back on his right foot. Cool as you like. Slots. Bottom right-hand corner. What a finish. Showed his class there.
Well, he's only started 1 game this season for Juventus, but he started here for Wales and he scored. Aaron Ramsey's 17th international goal. And just when it seemed that the Czech Republic were getting on top themselves, Wales breaking it downfield, and that was echoes of what we saw against Turkey in the summer.
Some players get in their positions. I mean, they either have a cloud of mist come over the top of them and they can't see anything, or they freeze. And there's some players who are just cool as you like. Aaron Ramsey, I mean, that finish is just world class. There's no other way to describe it. He was so cool.
Now the Czechs looking to respond with the early shot into the penalty area. It's turned away and then turned straight back into the net. And the Czechs are level a minute after Aaron Ramsey scored. Wales falling asleep and Jakub Pasek making the most of the chaos inside the area. The initial shot was saved by Ward, but Pasek was there to pick up the pieces, and it's the Czech Republic 1, Wales 1.
Can you believe it? It's just a simple ball played wide, that's flicked over our back four. They get in down the left hand side into the box, cut back. Danny Ward, great save, and they've got two players at the back post. Nico Williams misses it. It's a rebound for someone following in. Well done for getting there for them, but boys, we've just scored. Concentrate. That is a lack of concentration after you've just scored, and we see it happen so often.
Well, Jakub Pasek, his first international goal came against Scotland in the Nations League. His second one has come here against Wales in the World Cup qualifiers, and Wales did not have the opportunity to enjoy the experience of leading for very long. And we welcome listeners from TalkSport to this game in Prague, where it's now the Czech Republic 1, Wales 1. Wales were ahead briefly. A terrific finish from Aaron Ramsey after Wales broke downfield following a Czech Republic corner, but chaos inside the penalty area, allowing Jakub Pasek to equalise 2 minutes later. Dean Saunders is alongside me, and having worked so hard to score the opening goal, it's criminal the way Wales gave away the equaliser there.
Well, yeah, we've played brilliantly. You've got to say they've been bad, but we've played great as well. And Dan James has looked lethal, and we've had half chance after half chance and a clear-cut chance with Kiefer Moore. And then finally we break out from their corner. Great finish from Ramsey. Within a minute, we've got 5 at the back. How somebody can get down the side of our centre-backs is beyond me. When we've got 5 players stood there, that's the last thing that should happen. But they got in, cut back. Danny Ward parries it, tap in. So it's game on again.
Wales had earlier chances. A shot from Kiefer Moore when he was clean through was blocked by Tomáš Vaklič, the Czech Republic goalkeeper. Thomas Schick has also gone close on a couple of occasions. And even without Gareth Bale, Wales have looked lively coming forward. But they failed to hold the lead, and that has really cost them in such a key game. Both these sides level on points behind Belgium in Group E. Commentary continues on TalkSport 2 with 5 minutes to go in the first half. It is 1-1 in Prague.
Yeah, the ball's been a simple pass out to their left winger, who's coming back towards his own goal, and he just hooks it with his right foot down the left channel. And somehow Chris Mepham and Roden have let a player get in between them, which they've got to read it. You can't tell them what to do. The football brain should say danger, and it's a bad goal to concede.
Now Souček has been caught by Morel, but the Czechs will play on. Pasek with a high cross into the area, and it's onto the roof of the netting. And I wonder if the referee may revisit that challenge from Morel on Souček. He allowed play to continue, and it's a goal kick to Wales with 4 minutes to play in the first half. And the crowd were just beginning to get on the backs of the Czech players, but that has really changed in a moment. It was slightly unfortunate. There was a deflection on the shot from Novak, which was parried by Danny Ward. Had he left it, I think Nico Williams coming in behind him may have cleared it. But in the end, he made the save, and the equaliser was quickly scored by Pasek.
And well done for following in. You know, because if you don't get in that position, you don't get the tap in.
Now Turkey 1, Norway 1, Liechtenstein 0, North Macedonia 1, and it's Iceland 0, Armenia 1. The other game in this group this evening is Estonia against Belarus, which of course will have little bearing on who finishes in the top 2. But Estonia already have had a role in who else may finish in the playoff place following that 0-0 draw in Cardiff. The Czechs coming forward again now, more elusive running from Schick on the right hand side, but After beating Williams, the recovery challenge comes in. And Wales, wearing all yellow, will try and clear, but Morel was rather penned in on this near side. The challenge from Schick, who has scored 11 times in his last 13 internationals. And Kral has it now for the Czech Republic by the corner flag on this near side, challenged by Williams, and it will be a throw into the Czechs. And it's vitally important for Wales that they hang on to this situation going into half-time.
If I'm on the bench now, I'm shouting on to Ethan Ampadu, you're on a yellow card, stop diving in. He's going to get sent off.
Long throw into the penalty area is flicked on, eventually headed away by Ampadu. Ramsey will battle away on this near side and almost wins it back from Barac. Now Gunter with the early ball down the line, flicked back in field by Moore, and it's quickly controlled by Ramsey. A high up and under towards the edge of the area. Daniel James was the target, but it's claimed by Vaklic.
Well, their back four spread right across the pitch. They're trying to keep the ball, they keep giving it away. So no matter what system you play, in any form of football, if you give the ball away as much as the Czechs are, your system breaks down. And that's exactly what's happening. Their manager will probably say to them, come on, we've got to start moving the ball better, we've got to start keeping the ball and making 10 passes. Otherwise, our two centre-backs are getting isolated on the break. And Wales really have got in a lot and not we've scored one goal. I'm still thinking about Ramsey's finish. What a finish.
Yeah, terrific moment, but the joy was extremely short-lived as the Czechs come forward again now, but the free kick has been conceded by Patrick Schick. He was the player sent off in Cardiff for tangling with Connor Roberts off the ball. It was Chris Gunter this time, and arms were raised by both of them as they grappled on the edge of the area.
Both of them were dived on the floor. It's just a little tussle up between them, and both players who Gunter's 6'2", Schick's about 6'4", and both of them have dived on the floor, holding the faces. Get up and get on with it.
But Schick is one of the form strikers in Europe at the moment. 6 in his first 7 games this season in the Bundesliga, as the familiar sight of Kiefer Moore jumping with a central defender and then being penalised, although Thomas Callas should be used to that, having faced him in the Championship with Bristol City.
Well, we talked about this in the Euros, Nigel, about Kiefer Moore getting penalised a lot and ended up getting a yellow card and fouls given against him all the time. We're using his body strength, and we were saying he has to learn how to not give as many fouls away, but he just looks to me a yard short of what he was in the Euros. Confidence.
Yeah, and that yard could be down to confidence, anticipation, as the Czechs try and build again, and they've won a corner right at the end of the first half. We are halfway through, a minute of added time, and it was Thomas Souček making that break into the penalty area from midfield, such a familiar sight for us these days. And Pešek, the goal scorer for the Czechs, will take the corner on the far side. And this is where Wales need to stand firm. It's played short, and it's smart play on the far side as Wales cut the ball and then quickly play it forward downfield. And that should be half-time, and it is. Aaron Ramsey with a wonderful moment to give Wales the lead. But within 2 minutes, pin ball inside the penalty area led to an equaliser for Jakub Pešek. Although Wales have been the better side, they've created more clear-cut chances, but you just wonder, can the Czechs be as average in the second half? At half-time, it is the Czech Republic 1, Wales 1. Thank you, Dan. Saunders still on the bench at the start of the second half. The Wales team is Ward in goal, Roden, Mepham and Ampadu, 3 central defenders, Gunter and Williams in the wide areas, Morel and Allen holding in midfield with Ramsey behind James and Moore. And the Czech Republic side, no changes for either side at half-time. Vaklic in goal, Matia, Callas, Seluska and Novak the back four, Kral and Souček holding in midfield, Pešek, Barac and Hosek behind Schick. And Kiefer Moore penalised in the opening 5 seconds of the second half for leaping with Souček, and he led with his arm again, and referees, particularly European referees, will always see that as a foul.
Could have been a red card. As I said, we've seen one. I forget who it was at the weekend. It was in the semi-final of the Nations League last night. We've seen that red card for that. It was just the same again. Kiefer Moore leading with his arm. Ramsey done it in the first minute, got away with it. So I know I'm ranting a bit about goal scorers, but
Gareth Bale's a goal scorer, isn't he?
Well, no, he's a winger, isn't he? But he's just a world-class player, but he's a winger. He's not an out-and-out goal scorer. How can you have a football team at any level, Sunday League, and not have a goal scorer? That's what it's about, football.
Well, Pešek doing well to keep the ball in play on the far side, the right, and he's drawn the challenge from Ampadu, and it will be a corner to the Czech Republic. It did seem as though the ball may have gone out before Ampadu made the challenge. And an in-swinging corner towards the far post, headed away initially, and then controlled by Ramsey inside the area, and it's calmly done from him to play it wide to the right, and it's down the line from Gunter, and then it's played in behind again, and Moore will chase down the right-hand side, has James in support, and he's bars to the ground by Kral, and that will be a free kick to Wales on this near side, their right. But Wales have done well without Gareth Bale in many ways. In competitive games, they've won 37 of his 75 games since he made his debut when he's been in the side, but only 5 of the 17 when he's been missing.
Well, I think 85% of the goals we score, he's either involved in them or scoring them, so that's how valuable he is to us.
James with the free kick, high into the penalty area, headed away by Schick, nodded back towards goal by Allen, cleared by Souček. Now Williams controls, he tries a right-footed shot, coming in field from the left-hand side, gets right underneath it, scooped over the top for a goal kick.
It's another opportunity again. We just got to keep plugging away, and we are going to create chances. Let's just have a look at what their manager has told them this half, because he's got to do something. They're there for the taking.
Well, Jaroslav Sahavi has gradually improved this Czech team since taking over in 2018. They were qualification fodder, certainly in World Cups for some time, but of course they made the Euros, and like Wales, they were knocked out by Denmark, and they too had to make the trip to Baku when the Danes beat them in their quarter-final. Well, Schick will chase a ball forward now on this near side from Barac, but Ampadu comes across and clears away, and Schick maybe left something on him, but here is Ramsey now on the edge of the Wales penalty. Oh no, he's put it back to Ward. No. That's a terrible moment for Wales. It's an own goal. The error from Danny Ward, the back pass from Ramsey. Ward saw the ball evade his grasp, and it crept over the line, and that is an absolute gift. Danny Ward has been Wales's hero on so many occasions, but he is the man who will have fingers pointed at him there. There was no danger at all, but Danny Ward has gifted the Czech Republic an own goal, and they lead 2-1.
Well, you can only feel sorry for Danny. If everybody can remember back to Aston Villa Birmingham, Peter, what was the goalkeeper's name?
Enkelman.
Peter Enkelman, when the ball dribbles over his foot and goes in the far corner, that is exact replica goal. The ball's passed back to him. He's tried to control it with the outside of his right foot. Maybe he should have used his left. Took his eye off it. It's got a bit of a bobbled over his foot. 2-1 down.
It's been given as an own goal by Aaron Ramsey, but in fact I think it will go down as an own goal from Ward in the end. Gunter with a cross in from the right hand side, because Ward actually kept it out, knocked it against the post. He went back in off the Wales goalkeeper, but that is an horrendous goal to concede in a game like this. And having led, Wales now trail 4 minutes into the second half. Gunter now down the right hand side, swings a high cross into the area. It's beyond Kiefer Moore, headed up into the air initially by Shaluska. The ball bounces up, hits him on the body. There were appeals, half-hearted appeals for a penalty, but in the end Shaluska recovers, and it will be a throw-in on the far side for Wales, who trailed in this game, and if they lose this match, second place looks a long way away.
Well, that's one for the Christmas videos, that, Harry Hill. You've been framed. Wardy will never be allowed to forget that one, but you've got to get on with it now. And
now Moore riding a challenge on the edge of the area, plays it wide to Gunter again, the right-footed cross into the box is deflected away on this near side by Novak, and it will be a throw-in, and we have played 50 minutes here. The Czech Republic 2, Wales 1. Wales have lost all 6 of their previous games in either the Czech Republic or the previous Czechoslovakia. They led in this game, but they have won a corner now. Gunter's throw-in looking for James, and it's hooked behind by Kral.
do you know what? This Welsh team, they don't feel sorry for themselves. We've come straight from that goal and gone right up the other end, and for the last 2 or 3 minutes we've been pummeling their goal again.
But there was no real need for Ramsey to make that back pass. The error's Ward, but he could have turned, he could have been offensive. Corner high into the penalty area, cleared away at the far post, fired back into the box by Williams, but he was off balance. The shot's off target.
Do you know what, Nigel? This happened to me once. I was manager of Wolves. Carl Hakimi was in goals, Dave Davis was playing in midfield, and when you ask them to play football and pass the ball to each other, at times that's going to happen. It doesn't happen very often, but the ball rolls over the goalkeeper's
He went with his right foot when really he should have just controlled it with the instep on the left.
Yeah, and he's got back, he's run back to try and retrieve the situation. He's hooked it with his right foot into the post. It's come off the post, hit him, and gone back in the net, so he's unlucky.
That's the own goal for Danny Ward, really. And now another back pass towards him. This time he puts his right foot through it and clears.
He's really good with his feet, though. I think I've told you in the past, I played him up front at Wrexham in the reserves once. He done well. He can play out.
Well, he'll feel he owes his team a goal here. Wales having already lost in Belgium. They can't afford to lose here. And the crowd ooh and ah once again as another back pass goes towards him. Headed away this time by Williams as Ward clears, and now the early long ball is played forward looking for Moore, who is wrestling with Saluska, and Moore was on the wrong side, so Saluska clears, but Ramsey quickly wins it back, and Wales need a mercurial performance now from their captain. He came up with one of those moments to give Wales the lead briefly in the first half, but now his side trail. Dan James will close down a back pass, and Vaklic, having seen what happened at the other end, just booms it downfield. And there's no question about the pitch. There was no bobble. It was just one of those moments.
Well, do you know, it happens to... Here we go.
Moore coming forward now, swirls a high ball into the penalty area. It's beyond both Ramsey and James, but it's regathered on the far side by Williams in front of the Wales fans on the far side. Williams has support from James, but it's all the way back towards Morel. Allen on the stretch has given the ball away. Kral can now stride over the halfway line. Schick is the option to his right, and he's quickly challenged by Ampadu, who was rather caught out, but Schick miscontrolled anyway, and Wales have a throw-in.
We've just got to carry on what we're doing. Forget what's just happened, because we're still playing really well, and they're still awful. They're lucky to be in front,
but they lead 2-1, and that is the key stat. Ramsey swings a high ball from right to left, looking for Williams, who can't keep the ball in play, and it will be a goal kick to the Czech Republic. Serge Gnabry has equalised for Germany, 1-1 for them at home to Romania, and Slovenia leading Malta by 2-0 as well.
Knowing Danny Ward's character, honestly, that will not bother him. That won't affect him. He's strong-willed. He will just get on with that. I mean, you played right back, didn't you?
Well, left back in the changing room, yeah.
Well, how many times has the ball bobbled over your foot in a game? Loads. I've done it loads of times. Well, unfortunately, when you're a goalkeeper, there's nobody there to help you.
No, and I'm sure that he will never do that again.
I'm sure
Next time he'll
I'm sure
control
he
the ball
will.
with his left foot.
No, he will. It's just the price on the ticket when you're a goalkeeper. You're last man. There's no one behind you. If you make a mistake like that, I mean, he's so good with his feet. He's the last goalkeeper you'd expect that to happen to. But I suppose it happens to all of them. Unfortunately, it's in an international in a World Cup qualifier.
And we've spoken about the bad moments in Wales' history in major games over the years, and let's hope that doesn't turn out to be another one.
Well, I played in the game against Romania when we had to win to qualify in the World Cup, and Hadji dropped his shoulder, come inside from the right wing, come in on his left foot, shot from about 40 yards, and it bounces in front of Neville Southall, who at the time we all thought was the best goalkeeper in the world, and it goes through his hands in a big game like that. And Neville has never let another goal in like that, and it happens.
And you scored, and then Paul Bodie missed a penalty.
Yeah, I mean, that happens. You know, it's football, in it, but anyway, not too much doom and gloom. We're still in this game.
TalkSport 2, 56 minutes played. Czech Republic 2, Wales 1. There's one domestic game going on in England tonight, and Tranmere have taken the lead against Colchester. Josh Hawkes has scored his first goal on loan from Sunderland.
Tranmere don't score many, but don't let many in.
Absolutely. Seventh goal of the season, and they could be in the top 3 if they win tonight.
Mickey Mellon, genius.
They are flying economy class. 57 minutes played. Wales need a goal here. Trailing by 2 goals to 1 on TalkSport 2. Sheffield Wednesday against Bolton coming up in League 1, 3 o'clock tomorrow. And that is the meat in the sandwich in terms of live football across the TalkSport network, with the Manchester derby, United against City from the Women's Super League on TalkSport at 1:30, and Andorra against England also on TalkSport at 7:45. And Arsenal against Everton is the WSL offering at 3 o'clock on Sunday. And we will have Estonia against Wales live on TalkSport 2 on Monday. And if Wales lose this, then realistically they will have to get at least a draw against Belgium in their final game and possibly win.
Tough. The way they're playing at the moment, Belgium. It's a big ask.
Well, in this group, Estonia have just taken the lead against Belarus in Tallinn. They lead by a goal to 0. And we have played 58 minutes in Prague. The Czech Republic leading Wales by 2 goals to 1. And the annoying thing is, from a Welsh point of view, is they've not had to work at all for that second goal.
No, just give them it. I think there's been a lull in the game in the last 7 or 8 minutes where there's nothing going on, and it's like as if the Czech Republic have been on the floor, they've got back up, they've dusted themselves down, and now they're starting to regroup a little bit. We've just got to keep switching the ball from side to side. Chris Gunter keeps getting out down this right side and putting the ball in the box. Unfortunately, we haven't got somebody on the bench who can just know where to run and get on the end of something. Kiefer Moore looks like he's lacking confidence. He looks a yard short of pace to get on the end of something, but hopefully he will before the end of this game.
Connor Roberts and Harry Wilson are coming on, but the Czechs now have an opportunity. A low shot dragged across the face of goal by Souček from the right-hand side of the penalty area. And again, he had better opportunities to find a teammate than shoot.
Awful. Souček, like last season, West Ham, he was outstanding. Looks like he's lost his confidence. Well, we've got Harry Wilson coming on now, who's got a goal in him. Set plays. Connor Roberts also got a goal in him from right back. He can sneak in at the back post, but he's not played all season. But Harry Wilson's a good move. I think if we do get any free kicks around the box, he's got the stanchion finder.
Well, it's an attacking change with Harry Wilson coming on to replace Joe Morrell, and Chris Gunter replaced by Connor Roberts, who is playing his first game since injury in Amsterdam against the Danes in the Euros.
Well, we knew it was bad at the time. It seems, you said to me, it's been seems like such a long time, the Euros, and he's been out all that time, so it must have been a complete tear.
It was just one of those moments where he just stretched for a poor ball on the touchline, and that was it.
But he can go box to box, Connor. He's a real fit lad, so hopefully down this right hand side he's in now.
A high ball played towards him from Ramsey. Roberts, he's just checked, but he's got support, and he finds James. High cross in, looking for Kiefer Moore. Oh, the header was gathered by the goalkeeper. He was going the wrong way. Moore then barges into Vaklic, who clasps onto the ball right on the goal line.
Well, there you go. Connor Roberts comes on within 30 seconds. He's involved in the move. He gets in. We float the ball. A great ball. Ideal. I think it was Harry Wilson that's floated the ball. Two of them within 30 seconds made the chance. I'm just looking at Kiefer Moore. If I was coaching him now, I was saying to him, you always seem to have defenders leaning on you in the box. Are you making enough runs in there?
Here is Ramsey coming forward now towards the edge of the penalty area. Right foot shot is blocked inside the box, and the Czechs will try and bring the ball clear, but it's quickly won back on this near side by Allen. He seemed to be fouled, and he was fouled by Klosek, and it's a free kick for Wales with 61 minutes played, trailing in Prague by 2-1 on TalkSport 2, but they seem to have rediscovered their poise after the own goal from Danny Ward.
Yeah, we had like we were talking about Kiefer Moore, there were great opportunities. The ball's hanging at the back post, he's climbing over the defender, couldn't get enough on it, drops into the keeper's arms. But he has to keep moving and keep making runs in the box.
Wilson over the free kick, high towards the far post, and Wales are penalised for pushing even before the ball got there by Dennis Akakin, the German referee.
Yeah, what I was saying, if I was coaching him, what I'd say to him is, look, when the ball goes wide, you've got to get out of the defender's eye line who's trying to mark you, so you get behind him so he can't see you and the crosser, and then you either make a move across him or you come out to the penalty spot. He's always running in amongst the defenders. Well, there's three of them in there, so come away from them, come to the penalty spot and hope the cross, you've got to find space, hope the cross comes to you. But he's not thinking enough, he's just standing in there, and the ball's going to find him, not the other way round.
It's conviction, isn't it?
Yeah, you've got, I worked with Alan Shearer. When the ball went wide, he knew exactly where that ball was going, and he got there. He made a run across you, or he pulled behind you. And I suppose it's an instinct you've got.
Now Schick for the Czech Republic, has space down the left-hand side. Early cross into the area. Ward down on one knee, allowed the ball to skip through the 6-yard box. The Czechs have it again with Pešek down the right. Wilson comes in to make the challenge. He's then fouled by Pešek, and it will be a free kick for Wales. Long time to go in this game, and Harry Wilson, not selected from the start, may have a point to prove.
Yeah, and you look at the manager now and you think, right, what has he done? We're 2-1 down. He's took the defensive midfield player off. He's brought Harry Wilson on. He's brought Gunter off, who's getting on a bit. Brought Connor Roberts on, who's got fresh legs, thinking that we can get down this side, which we can, because they've not come to terms with our shape. Their manager must be thinking, we are so lucky to be in the lead in this game.
But that's the situation. 19 minutes into the second half. The Czech Republic 2, Wales 1. And the Czechs travel to Belarus on Monday when Wales face Estonia in Tallinn, live on TalkSport 2. And then they have a home game with Estonia to finish off. Wales have lost only 2 of their previous 16 World Cup qualifiers. That match against Belgium, and of course that decisive game at home to the Republic of Ireland back in 2017.
Do you know, on the pitch now, this Welsh team, because they've won so many games and they've been successful, they won't actually think they're going to lose this game. The players out there, they actually believe they can win it.
Well, Ramsey brings the ball down and finds Allen. Allen was just clipped on this near side by Barach, and it will be a free kick for Wales with 25 minutes to play. Trailing by 2-1, having led briefly during the first half, thanks to Aaron Ramsey. Peszek with the equalising goal, then an own goal from Danny Ward, which will be replayed time and time again. And it's not something he will appreciate seeing. Well, neither will anyone else of the Welsh persuasion. Ramsey on this near side, back towards Allen. Mepham with an early ball forward. It's a good one as well. And Wales here have opportunities to cross. It's Ramsey with the ball in, sliced away on the edge of the penalty area, but it turns out to be a good clearance. Peszek forward towards Schick. Schick turns, but the challenge comes in from Ampadu. Schick goes down looking for the free kick. Clean challenge from Ampadu, and now Wales have given the ball away themselves. Barat's almost found Schick. And Wales are living dangerously at times, but the Czechs haven't been clever enough to really capitalise. Here is Souček, right on the right-hand side.
Give the ball away again. They just consistently give the ball away.
Wilson, who scored that great goal in Belgium for Wales in the opening qualifier, carries the ball over the halfway line. Now Roberts, poor pass from him straight to Peszek, and he can break now for the Czechs down the right-hand side. Has Souček on his outside. Schick waits on the edge of the area. It's wide towards Souček. Three wait for the cross. Schick is waiting. He brings the ball down superbly. Can he turn? No, he can't. And in the end, that's really good defending inside the area from Connor Roberts to draw the free kick.
Good defending. It's a big statement to make, but I don't think they look like they're going to hurt us on the counter-attack.
But they don't have to hurt you on the counter-attack if you gift them a goal.
No, so when they're breaking on us, I don't think, we better not send bodies forward because they're going to do us on the break. I think we can afford to do it. They're out of sorts.
But the Czechs are leading midway through the second half here on TalkSport 2. Ramsey now for Wales. Lofts a good ball wide to the far side, and Williams delivers the cross in, but he was just challenged as he played the ball in. Král has the simple task of clearing.
Nico Williams down with cramp, not surprised.
Now Wilson plays the early ball forward, but it's guided away by Cheluška. And Wales are creating the angles around the penalty area, but they just need somebody to apply the finish. Now Moore, wide to the far side again, and Wilson in the central area plays a great ball through to Dan James, and James has equalised. Daniel James has been threatening to do that all night. His pace has worried the Czechs, and now he delivers the equalising goal, and the own goal from Danny Ward has been wiped out. It's the Czech Republic 2, Wales 2.
Brilliant ball, Harry Wilson slid the ball in between the centre-backs. Dan James on his right foot. Harry Wilson picks a square pass up, runs through the middle of the pitch, slide rule pass. Dan James, right foot first touch, second touch, across the keeper, bottom corner. Shocking defending from them, but brilliant finish.
Well, that is why Wilson's been brought on. Looks an inspired change, and that's a very composed finish from Daniel James to sweep the ball across the goalkeeper, and it nestled inside the far post.
You got to say, Nige, well done, Robert Page. You get criticised making substitutions. People going, why is he doing that? Why is he doing that? He's made a positive substitution. Harry Wilson's come
They
on.
are checking this, I think, for a possible offside.
Nigel, what you telling me? Please tell me this.
Felix Wire, the referee. The goal's been given.
Did you need to give me that unnecessary panic there?
Well, I'll have to give the listeners the information.
That's fair enough. I thought he was going to disallow it for a minute.
Fifth international goal. Dan James scored the winner against the Czech Republic when Wales were up against it in Cardiff, and he scored an equalising goal here, and he was onside.
Great run, great finish, great through ball. I am surprised Man United have let him go.
Here's Ramsey coming forward now. Wales looking for the third. Connor Roberts down the Wales right, infield again, and now Another opportunity for Ramsey inside the penalty area. Plays it back out towards Wilson. Chops it onto his right foot. Still Wilson. Now he's found Ramsey, who pokes it towards goal. And it's blocked by the goalkeeper at the near post. Wales still have it. Ramsey again now. Down the right-hand side. A short stub ball in field from Ramsey is cut out. And then a recovery challenge is made on this near side by Mepham. And it's a throw into the Czech Republic. Aaron Ramsey so close to making it 3-2.
It was like deja vu. Harry Wilson again, same position, slips a through ball for Aaron Ramsey outside of his left foot, tried to go in the same corner as Dan James across the keeper. Keeper makes a great save. Could be 3-2 up. Well done.
2-2 with 19 minutes to play, and you just feel there's a winning goal for either side still in this game the way it's gone. And the Czechs did not build on their lead at all. They were gifted the second goal, and if anything they shrunk back into themselves.
Wow, I mean the second goal was a gift, as he said, but their defence, they look as if they've never played together before. They're not covering the gaps. When they're going forward, they're getting done on a counter-attack because they're not organised. They just look terrible.
Now Barac looking to turn on the halfway line for the Czech Republic, challenged by Allen. Wales have it back again now. Mepham on this near side, and he left Krall on his backside as he twisted and turned away from him. Lofted wide to Williams down the left and back towards Ampadu. Ampadu clips the early ball forward again. Ramsey heads it back in field. He did well to stay onside there, Aaron Ramsey, but in the end it's won back by the Czech Republic. Harry Wilson, who has made such an impact since coming on, almost wins it back. Now Mepham does. A high ball wide to the far side, looking for Ramsey again, and the Czechs win it back with Barac. Poor ball forward from him, cut out by Roden. Now Moore. The high line from the Czechs could be exposed again now. It's wide to Connor Roberts down the right hand side, short to Ramsey in the number 10 position. Now Allen, and it's slid by Wilson almost through towards Ramsey on the edge of the area, and Harry Wilson is being given the time here to pick his passes.
I mean, Aaron Ramsey, if you remember the run he made against Turkey straight through the middle of the pitch, he's just made that run again, and I mean, they're just getting through that defence at will. Their full-back, their left-back is playing so far away from his left-side centre-back. There's a massive channel to run into.
2-2, 17 minutes to play. Connor Roberts coming forward now for Wales. Low ball cut towards James on the edge of the area. He wriggles away from one challenge, but it drops to Wilson. Wilson with a left foot shot, deflected. Oh! Just wide. Harry Wilson so close to the go-ahead goal for Wales.
Just when you need a bit of luck. I mean, it's Harry Wilson again. The ball, Connor Roberts plays a ball inside to Dan James. He gets fouled, but pokes the ball to Harry Wilson. He's in the middle of the goal, does a little shimmy, gets it on his left foot, gets deflected. It looks like it's going to loop over the keeper, just wide.
Corner for Wales. 16 minutes to play. 2-2 in Prague. Wales pushing hard for the third goal here, but the corner is a poor one, and it's swept away. And now Pashak will try and break, but Wales have got 3 yellow shirts around him, and once again it's brought out neatly on this near side by Roberts. He finds Wilson. Roberts works a 1-2, and Wales playing much the more composed football now. Allen, 25 yards from goal, in a central area, wide to the far side of Williams. Now Ampadu takes over. Ampadu swings a high ball to this near side, nodded clear, and then Peshek lobs the ball over his shoulder, has support from Barac, but it's quickly won back by Mepham. And Mepham now, the central defender, charging forward down the right hand side, has support from Roberts. High cross to the far post, Kiefer Moore's header, just wide.
I can't believe it. Just what we're talking about. Wales, brilliant play again, cross to the back post. He's done the movement, he's got out of the defender's eye line, he makes a run to the near post, then pulls back. Great movement from Kiefer Moore, gets his head on it, back where it come from. It looks like it's going in the corner, just wide. Unlucky.
Well, Wales with 12 attempts on goal, the Czechs have had 6.
Imagine saying that you're going to go to the Czech Republic and have 12 chances
and not be winning.
Do you know what? I've looked at this game, the way their back four set up, and I've tried to think, what player have I played with that would come on in this game and score? Ian Rush. This game is set up for slide rule passes, but gaps between the defenders. If you had a goal record, even in League 2, even in League 1, you would score in this game for Wales.
Nico Williams is coming off, and it's a debut for Sorba Thomas of Huddersfield Town. He's had an excellent start to the season, the Championship Player of the Month for August, signed from non-league. He was at Boreham Wood in the National League. Huddersfield have taken a gamble on him, and he has really repaid them. Matej Vidra is coming on for the Czech Republic to replace their first goal scorer, Jakub Pešek. And Anthony Balac is also coming off, and it's a very experienced player, Michael Sadliak, who is coming on.
Vidra is a dangerous player. I mean, we've just got to make sure we keep an eye on him. This lad from Huddersfield, I watched him play for Boreham Wood. He's an example to any player that gets released out of league football and drops down.
Now an opportunity for Schick to strike a shot towards goal. It's blocked. The second effort pings into a Welsh body on the edge of the area, and then a volley into a crowd. There's still an opportunity for the Czechs here, and then a shot has flattened Connor Roberts on the edge of the area. Kral's shot in the end is lofted high over the top.
Well done, Connor Roberts. Took one right in the boat race. It's hit him on the nose, I think. Oh, great block. We've had to block some shots there. I think we've blocked 5 shots.
Well, it's Sadliak with the first effort, his first touch, then Schick with the shot into the face of Connor Roberts, and then Kral's effort may have taken the deflection on the way through, and we can see on the monitor Connor Roberts is just wincing.
Then the mitre, size 5 miters that we used to use with her, these balls are like beach balls.
77 minutes played. Czech Republic 2, Wales 2. Peter Clark has scored a second for Tranmere in League 2. They lead Colchester by 2 goals to 0. Now a ball played into the penalty area by Kiefer Moore, and it was a back flick at the near post from Connor Roberts. Forward again, and it's into the side netting.
And he was in a similar position to the goal he scored for Wales in the Euros. He makes the underlap, which is the right back running infield, and instead of running on the outside, he's got in the box. What a finish that would have been. He tried to back heel it in. I mean, we've got... God, come on. It's there for the taking.
12 minutes to play. 2-2. Wales, at the moment, pushing hard for the winning goal. If it stays like this, both sides would be level on points. The Czechs would stay ahead on goal difference. And of course, Wales have Belgium at home to come in their final game. So
I'm just wondering, could Tyler Roberts go up the middle? And I mean, Kiefer Moore is a big, tall, strong centre forward who stands in the middle of the pitch, keeps their 2 centre backs together sometimes. Tyler Roberts his movement might be a little bit more effective in this situation.
A player who was yet to score for Wales, doesn't score too often for Leeds either. Now Thomas on the far side, and it's launched long downfield by Ampadu. Kiefer Moore was underneath it. Allen then goes down believing he should have had a free kick, but here is Connor Roberts coming forward down the right hand side for Wales. Just checks back, needs support, finds it from Ramsey. Ramsey with a high cross into the area, headed away in the middle by Callas, but Wales quickly win it back. Mepham now in towards Ramsey again, and it's laid back past Rodon, so he turns and goes all the way back towards Danny Ward, who scored an own goal early in the second half, as Wales under pressure again on the far side, but Sorba Thomas steps away from one challenge, then loses out. Král coming forward down the right for the Czech Republic, but all they have was a throw-in the end, midway inside the Wales half. Game is still there to be won for either side. The Czechs looking to do it now with a high cross into the area, which is nodded clear by Rodon. Now the cross in, looking for Schick. It's allowed to bounce inside the 6-yard area. It's hacked clear initially by Mepham, and then Sorba Thomas tries to clear away. Ramsey eventually gets good distance. Keeper Moore flicks on, and Dan James will try and run now from the halfway line. He's got support in field from Wilson. There's a man over on the far side. It's Ramsey. James goes himself and drags it wide.
Did he pick the right option? Dan James again. I mean, there's a clearance out of our box. Kiefer Moore does brilliant to get to the ball first, flicks it inside, and we're off. Dan James is running at 1v1 at the defender. He comes in field. He's got Harry Wilson to his right, Kiefer Moore to his left. He can't work out which one to pass to. He ends up taking it on his right foot and shooting himself. Dragged the shot, but if it goes in the bottom corner, he gets a round of applause, but he's mishit it.
9 minutes to play on TalkSport 2. More World Cup action coming up on TalkSport tomorrow. Andorra against England. And we'll have commentary on Wales' game in Estonia coming up on Monday evening, 7:45 kickoff. As it stands, Wales will still be third, but they do have that game in hand.
Seriously, Nigel, I'm going to go on about it again. How can Robert Page look to his right and not have a centre forward on the bench?
But who is there? He's not leaving anyone out, is he?
No, we haven't got anyone. Our country, we haven't got a centre forward who scores with a goal record at any level.
Well, the under-21s lost in Moldova earlier on today, which was a poor result. High cross into the area, and Ward will allow the ball to bounce behind for a goal kick. And the reality is, at the moment, in terms of players coming through, strikers coming through, there isn't anyone.
No, honestly, I don't think we're on our own as a country. I know I'm going on about it, but it highlights it. I mean, if Harry Kane got injured, England are looking at Calvert-Lewin, Danny Ings. Then, I remember Robbie Fowler, Andy Cole, Michael Owen, Shearer, Sheringham, Heskey, Tony Cottee. The list went on and on and on. Now, you're down to Ings, Calvert-Lewin, Kane.
Here is Ramsey now, finding Wilson. Sorba Thomas ahead of him. Wilson goes for goal, and it's blocked inside the area. Thomas does well to win it back with a sliding challenge. Now plays it back in field, and Wales have the opportunity to maintain this attack. Mepham, right to Connor Roberts, down the right-hand side. Coming short is Moore. Moore looks to play in Roberts. The ball is ambitious, and it's gone behind, and it's a goal kick.
Well, we're pressing for the winner, and we've got 8 minutes. 2-2 is not a bad result, but when you're watching the way this game's going, I am a bit concerned that Vidra is up there. Fresh legs, class player, but we look like we're going to get the winner.
Alex Kral is coming off for the Czech Republic to be replaced by Jan Kuča, who makes his debut. Slavia Prague player on home turf, scored 20 goals last season. And the other player who has come on is Thomas Weissner, player who wins only his second cap, made his debut against Belgium in September. And the Czechs looking to break forward now with 6.5 minutes to play. And it's Vidra, driven wide to this near side. Challenge comes in, and eventually Wales will clear, but it very quickly comes straight back. Thomas Muller has given Germany the lead. They lead Romania 2-1, having trailed in that game at half-time.
Thomas Muller, goal scorer.
And he's not even a striker.
20 years, banging 20 in every season. You can't teach him. You can't teach strikers how to score goals. It's an instinct you've got since you were a young lad, that you can actually show him where to run, but you can't give him the instinct on where to go. That's why you bring a striker on, he gets on the end of something.
Of course, Wales was spoiled really with Ross Hughes and yourself. Your goal-scoring record still up to scrutiny.
Craig Bellamy, John Hartson, Malcolm Allen, Ewan Roberts, Gareth Taylor.
But you didn't reach tournaments though, did you?
That's not the point. The point is, any football team has to have someone who can put the ball in the net. Goal scorers who regularly do it.
The Czechs looking to do that here with Schick, who is undoubtedly a goal scorer. Twisting and turning, plays it back to the edge of the area. Sadliak with the shot, and it's high over the top, and it's a goal kick with 5 minutes to play. And it's 2-2 here on TalkSport 2. And we can hear the Wales fans.
Defence that cost us, by the way. Wasn't our fault.
Well, there was a variety of factors that cost you over the years. Joe Jordan's handball, floodlight failures.
No, I mean, maybe I'm going to have to do something and go into Wales and start teaching, finding strikers and start teaching them where to run.
Well, the number 9's coming on now, Tyler Roberts, who has yet to score for Wales, and he's replacing Chris Mepham.
That's another positive move. Tyler Roberts does well for Leeds, works his socks off. Again, has he got the goal instinct? If he did, it'd be worth millions.
Well, Wales still have time to try and win this game. 4 minutes to play, and they've looked the more likely side to score in the closing stages. Roberts, wide to the far side, and Sorba Thomas, who audaciously clips the ball over his shoulder to find James. James now turns down the left-hand side. There's an overlap here, and it's Sorba Thomas onto his right foot. Early cross into the 6-yard area, headed away, unchallenged, swept back in by Roberts, and in the end appeals for handball as a Czech player slid in on the ground, and it will be cleared away by Sadliek. He's quickly closed down by Roberts, and Connor Roberts was appealing for handball there inside the area.
It's a penalty last season. He slipped in the box, ball's hit his heart, he's on the floor, the ball's rolled into his arm. Last season it's a penalty, this season it's not.
Play continues, no VAR check, but Wales have possession once again here. James, wide to this near side, and Roberts, but it's cut out quickly by Souček, and now Souček will try and stride forward, but he clatters into Harry Wilson, who made the challenge, and Thomas Souček has been on the periphery of the game throughout.
All of them have. When you try and analyse this game, I'd like to see the possession stats and the completed passes from the Czech Republic.
Wilson now plays it wide to Sorba Thomas. He can attack the penalty area down the right-hand side. Right foot shot from him is blocked. It's still loose inside the area. Ramsey tries to flick the ball back in field, and the Czechs will clear. It's eventually won back, but then the challenge from Wilson brings down Kucha, and it will be a free kick to the Czech Republic with 2.5 minutes to play.
There was a cross went in the box about 30 seconds ago. We've had that many attacks now, we're losing track of them. 30 seconds ago, Kiefer Moore, the ball's hanging 7 yards out, floated perfect for you to come and attack it. Centre half gets a free header. Why? I'd be asking him, tell me how that happens. You can't complain about the service that's gone in there. I would say we've put at least 25 crosses in their box.
Change will be made now for the Czech Republic, and it's Jaromír Šmrhal who will be coming on, but not before the free kick is taken by Danny Ward by the corner flag on the far side. Souček rising above Moore to head the ball away, but here is Ramsey inside the centre circle, wide to Roberts on the right-hand side. 90 seconds of normal time to play. Wilson, who has made a real impact since coming on, will be pushing for a recall when Wales play Estonia live on TalkSport 2 on Monday night. Sorba Thomas now with a cross in, which is headed away at the near post, and Wales will have a throw in midway inside the Czech half.
Wonder what he's thinking. Sorba Thomas, Boreham Wood, not long ago, playing in a World Cup qualifier.
Well, he spoke very well before the game about how proud he is to be playing for Wales, but at the moment he's thinking about chasing a long ball forward, which is eventually cleared. The Czechs win it back, and Ampadu just needs to be careful because he's on a yellow card, and he catches Kucha, and it's a free kick for the Czechs with 30 seconds of normal time to play. And there was a break towards the penalty area from Schick, and very calmly Joe Roden steps across to guide the ball out to play.
Roden, I think
Roden and Mepham have played well as a pair today.
They got done. Mepham got done down the channel for the goal. The two of them should have stopped that, but apart from that, I think they've handled a real top striker really well.
Adam Klosek is coming off for the Czechs, and it's Šmrhal who will come on. Now plays for Slovan Bratislava.
take a draw, Nigel, or not?
Would you have taken a draw before kick-off?
Yeah, I think we needed to win, but a loss was a disaster. A draw is okay.
Well, they could still lose it because it's a throw-in for the Czechs here, which is headed up in the air, inside the area by Moore, eventually cleared by James. And then a poor clearance by Maciek, and an opportunity for Wales to break, and it's Kiefer Moore who has been brought down in the centre circle, and it's a yellow card for Sadliak, who knew exactly what he was doing.
They're back four all over the place again. With a 4-on-3 there, and it's a professional foul. Kiefer Moore's away in the centre circle, trips him up, makes sure that you might go past me, the ball might go past me, but not both of you.
And we are into 3 added minutes at the end of this game. Sadliak, the latest player booked in what has been a thrilling evening in Prague. Wales have a free kick. Still pushing hard to try and win this game. Wilson with the free kick high into the area. It's nodded down and swept clear, and in the end the referee has given a free kick. The Czech player Mathieu has gone down, and it's a yellow card for Kiefer Moore for leading with his arm.
I think the rules in football now are stopping Kiefer Moore playing properly. I mean, how do you jump without using your arms as leverage?
I'm not sure he touched him either.
No, so you jump for a header, your arms go up, someone's come to try and win the same ball, if your arm hits the head, that's not an elbow. They've changed the rules now. You can't. Have you noticed how many head injuries there are now because of this rule? Because players are not using their arms, clash of heads every week.
And also players aren't protected, and if they get hit in mid-air, then
that's your protection.
There are
your
issues,
arms.
yeah. Anyway, Wales have another free kick here inside the centre circle. Daniel James has been hacked down, and we have 45 seconds of normal time to play. Thomas Callas with a challenge this time. Thomas has it wide on the far side. Tyler Roberts in support. Thomas plays it square. It's cut out, but quickly won back. And Allen wide to this near side, the right, and Roberts comes back in field, finds Allen again. It's over the top, looking for Tyler Roberts wide on this near side by the corner flag. Roberts has support, but the flag's up for offside against Connor Roberts, and it will be a free kick to the Czechs with 10 seconds of added time to play. And
they may not. Was that offside? I'm not sure about that.
Well, the decision's been given, and they may consider a point not the worst result. When you look at their running, they have to go to Belarus, and then they have Estonia to come, and that is it. The full-time whistle goes. Honours even in Prague after what was a tremendous game of football. Both sides gave it everything. Wales leading thanks to Aaron Ramsey, pegged back straight away in the first half by Jakub Pešek. A horrible own goal from Danny Ward in the opening moments of the second half gave the Czechs the lead, but a brilliant equaliser from Dan James gave Wales a point, which is the least they deserve, and they will head to Tallinn to face Estonia live on Talk Sport 2 on Monday, with their World Cup hopes still very much alive. It is finished. Czech Republic 2, Wales 2.